Dave just sent a photo of, he must have just made, how many, 8 trail camera mounts for this weekend.
Oh, he made some, like the one you had.
Just like the little Bolton ones, he just spray painted them.
Fantastic. That came in really handy.
Yeah.
Actually, Colton had commented. He's like, and that wasn't even shown that well in any of the stuff that I'd posted. And he like, what's that bolt system you had there on that camera? I was like, bro,
how did he even see that? It's like a shot from like 15 feet away.
Zooming in.
Wow.
He's like, that was a pretty good idea.
I like his style. Colton's got to get his ass in here.
He said he's gonna chat in or something. Anyways, what's up, Damien? Damien's working on something real special for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm excited. Damien made a nice comment about watching or listening to Dropping Pins and learning a lot from the guests. That was cool.
Good. All right. Yeah. He's learning stuff. We're all learning from Derek over here and the guests that he has on and how he's navigating. I've got a lot of compliments on how you're like such a great active listener and stuff. Yeah, dude. Anywho, so we're brought to you by Nosler.
We didn't even do an intro music.
Oh,
let's do that. What shit are you doing?
I've never done that before.
Come on, bro.
This is the Okayest Hunter Podcast.
Which one do you want?
I'm going to try this one.
Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Pour it up. Sorry about the premature start. Just getting excited about deer season. We've already told like 8 stories. I was like, we got to start this thing. What are we doing?
Eric's like, pause.
We know better.
Say some of these when we actually record.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we are brought to you by Nosler, nosler.com. If you don't know about them, they make premium ammunition, trophy grade, whitetail country of Armageddon for, I think, every caliber except for Greg's gun.
For the whitetail country.
Yeah.
Correct. They make the trophy grade.
Yes.
Yeah, but the whitetail country, they just don't have out in, what is he shooting? The cannon? The
300
Win mag?
That's what it is. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, but accurate, good, high quality stuff. You were there. We've talked about it all the time. We obviously do all the time because they're a presenting sponsor of our show. And we have lots of ammo. So
I was just watching, the kids and I were watching TV yesterday. We flipped on a show for lunch. And I was like, done with kid shows. We're going to watch a dad show, but I'll pick something that's like interesting for you guys. They love the outdoor boys. So Jim Shockey's Uncharted, which is like where he goes on those big expeditions and like, it's kind of like hunting mixed in with like adventure. It's like, let's watch one of these. And Nosler up front is like his main sponsor.
All right.
And he's got like the Nosler rifle. I'm like, how are they in bed with Jim?
It's the spectrum there.
With us.
Dude, we're Gerber, I think, had said this initially when they reached out to us, like that hey, you know, we've done a lot at the top of the mountain and the aspirational hunter, and that's all good and dandy, but like we realize a lot of folks are probably at the bottom of the mountain drinking beer, hanging out, having a good time, and like that's you guys. So I was like, that's a compliment. We'll take it. So yeah, I think the people that are rolling with us kind of understand what we're doing, hopefully, and who we're talking to and how we're talking to them. So it makes a lot of sense. So shout out to Latitude. The Method 3 is out. I think it's sold out at the show they were at.
It has to be, judging by everyone I've seen on social media buying it and saying this is the most amazing, comfortable saddle ever.
Yeah, it's pretty great. That's my saddle this year. I feel really sad about retiring the Method too, because that has been my saddle for the last 3 or 4 years, I think. I mean, I think I got that when I was working with those guys in 2019.
Yeah, you've had that one. That
was their first one.
Is that the only one you ran?
I did try the other ones. I just really
like that one.
I mean, we talk about all day sit. That's the one I'm all day sitting in. And I'm a rut hunter, so there's no surprise there. And I like the adjustability, but this new one's got some comfortability that really pushes the limits of what's possible. It's like sitting in a lazy boy in the tree.
I know our buddy Brian from Illinois, good sit mobile. Mm-hmm. He was on the fence and then pulled the trigger and was flinging some arrows in his backyard and was like, so glad that I did this and bought this.
Yeah. We had some comments of people talking about they're going to get it. This is pushing me over the edge. Some people at Foam Fest said the same, like, now I'm going to get it. So that's cool. Yeah. So there's that. Rack Hub, they just released and launched, which you can see here in the studio, there, and I showed it last week, and I don't want to do it again because this rack gets annoying. This is your rack. I don't know if you have a story behind this one or not. You just found a dead head.
Just a dead head when we were shed hunting.
It's a cool dead head. Did you touch up the antlers on this to like?
No, this
them?
one was underwater. It was frozen. We like chipped ice to get this sucker out. He was back in this big marsh. Found him on a little bedding hump, so he died in his bed. I figured maybe he got like gut shot or something. Went back, and this was all underwater, like up to this antler. So I saw an antler sticking up, and I was like, "Oh, got a shed." And I walked up, and I was like, "Nope." And then we spent like probably an hour chipping ice.
Yeah, because you're not prepared to do that out in the marsh.
So that's why this one is so dark, because it was just like in the moss, in the like muck underwater.
Jeff Genke taught me years back, take a little bit of wood stain, not a lot, and you could just kind of liven these back up a little bit.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I was like, I wonder, but you didn't. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, it's their Euromount product now. So the same ball bearing system as what you have behind you there, but now for Euromount. So you can tilt, shift. What's the word we talk about when you're shooting archery? Your
torque.
Torque, but it's like your
Canting your bow?
You can cant your mount.
Which is big on a Euro mount, because like anyone who's ever tried to like do some sort of DIY, like I'm just going to like use a wire and a screw because I'm cheap, and like I've done that a lot before. But like everyone is different how like their antlers lay and how far back the beams go and how vertical the G2s are.
Yeah.
So like each one is different. So if like I made a bunch of my own, and like some of them look really bad the way they are, some of them look great. But like having that little ball where you just loosen it, put it the angle you want, tighten it.
Yep.
They've really done a nice job figuring that part out.
And, not knocking shoulder mounts, but they're expensive.
Holy shit.
So if you can spend a little bit of money on this to rep a Euro mount, like I think it's a great way to go. So there's that. I think I got everybody. We talked about Gerber for half a second there. We're finally getting around to sending out the co-branded Gerber Okayest Hunter knives to the winners from our inventory season. So the guys and gals that won those, just be patient with us because we're shipping those out. And I got a pile of boxes out here. You probably saw, like, that's why, because I'm trying to get the right box to send that out with. So stuff's happening. We're doing stuff.
Gus, my son is jacked. He, he's a knife aficionado now after his haul of Gerber stuff. But we got a knife today. We ran to the local thrift store because my trail camming backpack, they're just shot. So that one I brought out,
I saw it had like
holes cut in the bottom. Like I'm losing bottles of everything. So I was like, I need a new backpack before I go to Illinois. I'm not going to go spend $30 for a trail. Like I'm just going to sweat the thing to death. So we ran to the thrift shop, found some basketball backpack. I'm like, this will work perfect. Gus reaches down inside and there's like, Fleet Farm used to give out little gifts when you bought your license.
Yeah.
And they gave out these little tiny pocket knives that like we always keep in our tackle box because they're just perfect.
Yeah.
And there was one of those brand new in the bottom. He's like, Dad, there's a knife in here. I'm like, sweet bonus find.
Got so many knives. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Hey, Michael, thank you very much for the comments. He said, thanks guys for the great content. Keep it coming. Appreciate it. Yeah, we try. We try. And hopefully it resonates. We try to be relatable because, well, we're just very human over here. Topic today, generally speaking, Derek was nice enough to like go with me to hang some cameras.
This was not a chaperone situation. Shut up, stop downplaying it.
But it was great to have you there because I actually thought about this quite a bit because I was like, man, it doesn't matter who I would have brought with me or if I went by myself. Everyone would have had their own 2 cents on how to do certain things. And all of it would be helpful to a spectrum of like, if someone else would have maybe, let's hang it higher. Let's put it here. This trail's there. You talked about don't put it north facing because you might get the glare, or if there's too much grass blowing, it's going to set the trigger off constantly. There's some technicalities in how you hang a trail cam to be aware of those things. And you have a really strong sense and awareness of that because you hang more cameras than anyone I personally know.
That's true.
So you understand the things you've learned the hard way.
I've been doing the camera thing for a long time.
So I'm like, all right, well, that's awesome, and I just don't know. We're just kind of like learning a new property, trying to assess it. Where's our best bet? at the end of the day, you're just making stuff up. We talked about in the woods, like the best thing about deer hunting and being in the woods is it's all speculation.
100%.
Wow, that could be a good tree. Well, yeah, sure could. That there could be a lot of people hunting this. Yeah, there might be. I might see. everything is speculative until it's not.
This might be the spot right here on this point. Or it might be that one right over there. Or it might be that one that who the hell knows? You make your best guess, and we'll see what happens.
But it does feel like I'm not into trapping like Zach over at Okayest Trapper. Plug, we have a network of podcasts. Okayest Trapper is one of them. Zach does a great job setting a trap to get an animal to do a very specific thing. Like we did set a trail cam in hopes of getting a deer to cross in front of one tiny spot. They might be going around it, behind it. There's probably deer all around that we're not capturing. We talked about a buddy of yours that I think a deer, was it you that told me that? Someone told me a big deer never actually showed up on camera, but it was there. I think it was someone else. Never mind.
Sounds familiar though.
Probably everybody.
Sounds very familiar.
But we did use Kevin Visison's Deer Hunter Synthetics, DH3, to kind of like get the stuff going. And so there was a small buck that came through this morning. The licking branch, I was like, oh, it's something.
Freaking licking branch fell down, which is like the whole reason, like you were talking about the trapping part. So like we had speculated, we made some guesses when we got to the spot that Eric had picked on the map. And we kind of like, well, they might be hanging out here or here. There was a couple spots. We both ended up going. You were walking on one edge. I was walking on the other. We both ended up kind of.
I have no idea how you got past me. I'd never seen you cross my path. I thought you were some other human.
I thought I lost you.
I was like, the fuck is this guy? I was like, oh, it's Derek. When did this happen?
Look at this little asshole.
I was like, thought for sure you were still on the island, just skirting away, and it was like completely blew my mind.
Yeah,
anyway.
so I saw that, and I just had to. I couldn't follow my line. I had to go out there, but we found a spot where it looked like there was a bunch of old rubs. I mean,
so we both had the same idea. Yep. Though. We actually both were like,
yeah,
let's
we ended
get
up
out
at the same spot. We looked right, and there was a whole bunch of old rubs. So we assumed that this is where some of the buck movement's coming into these white oaks. And they could come in once they kind of go through that path. Like they can go into the island. Mm-hmm. There's oaks all over, like wherever. So we kind of set the trap. We picked a spot that kind of made sense for a couple different directions of them coming in. Then the idea with the licking branch and the scrape is that like we're trying to make them come in or want to come in to check that because that's like the first thing that they get to. So here, if we put some of this urine in there, and then the licking branch, activator,
the attractant,
and the deer start going there. That's going to be the first place they want to go in.
Yeah.
So we can get their photo. You hung a cell camera. We got a new cell camera from Moultrie. So obviously we want to know what's coming in there before you go and throw a hunt at it. So the idea, like setting the trap, was that maybe with that scrape right there, that little mock scrape, that maybe we kind of pull them from 40 yards of, hey, they just come on wherever, to, hey, maybe they swing and hit this first. And then we picked out a tree or two where you could potentially hunt if something good was coming on.
Yep.
So that was kind of the trap idea that we were doing, just kind of trying to focus it or narrow it.
Changing a little bit of potentially their behavior. They might be doing all that anyways, but getting them to stop that first buck, I think now will begin, right? Like you see I have a 15-second clip. I did request it. I just want to see.
Yeah.
The first one, right? It's the first one. And I was like, man, are these things even working? Nothing. You would ask me anything. I was like, no, but I requested the on-demand and they came right away. So I think it's working. There's not even a freaking raccoon or anything yet. I'm like, come on. And then finally, this little guy came through. So if he did his business there, hopefully that means like that'll get other deer to start doing their stuff. I think that's the whole point of like Kevin's product is, or any product like that. It's you're trying to like get this catalyst of domino effect to happen.
And we talked about it when we were there too, but this early season stuff, like guys, don't freak out if you're not getting pictures on your cameras. The deer are so centralized around that prime food source, whatever it is. And then we talked about, like, hey, as soon as, acorns start dropping and egg starts browning up a little bit, like the deer, the shift is about to happen. Like it won't be long and you're going to see bloody antlers on social media. Like velvet's coming off in the next week. You're going to get your first deer or two, and then things are really going to start to change. So if you don't have something on your cameras, don't freak out. The rule is like, don't move your camera till like September 10th. Like
I'm not
if you still have nothing, then maybe readjust. But like, don't worry if you don't have a ton on your camera.
That's a good point. And it's funny because I know that because we talked about it and I'm still like, where are the deer? But I know that. But now, if a month goes by and nothing's changed, then I'm going to be like biting my nails like, I picked a shitty spot. But then now at least I know it's a shitty spot and I'll try something different. But it's a new spot for us. We did kayak in And there's a couple different entry points, whether you want to take water or not take water. So in terms of like how we set up and the way the wind's going, I think we got our bases covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's good.
And yours are all related to, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of mass this year, especially on white oaks. A lot of the trees we saw.
You believe, not that you believe like as if it's some sort of like subjective opinion, but tell me more about white oak versus red oak. And because you were getting really excited when you're just white oak.
Dude, white oak.
Oh my God, it's holding. Like, and you're like, oh. And so let's talk about food sources for a second.
Let's heat it up here. So I think it is subjective how excited I got about white oaks because we're in the Nicolet, like up north, there's not white oaks. Like I had never seen a white oak tree till I like moved down here.
They do exist.
Dude, they're everywhere. And then when you find those big fuzzy caps, I was like, oh my God, white. And you always hear like, deer love white oaks, deer love white oaks.
My dad has been obsessed with acorns since forever. Got to find the acorns. Acorns. They love acorns. I'm like, do they love them that much?
Oh God,
like, what's going on here? Because this is one of those things where are big deer really that hard to kill? Are they really that? And I'm like, well, once I experienced, I was like, yeah, people are right. They really are. So this is another learning point for me.
Yeah. So there's tons of red oaks in certain areas in northern Wisconsin, but they're not everywhere. Like some forests are just like maple forests and there's no oaks. But we've hunted a lot of red oaks, like tons of sheds. Like if you find a place that had an abundance of oaks during November dropping, like red oaks, and there's acorns left over, like you'll go in there in the winter and there could be a foot of snow and there will be leaves on top of the snow. It'll be ripped up because those deer will dig for those acorns. So we found tons of antlers on deer feeding on acorns. Biggest deer I've ever shot in Wisconsin was on an acorn ridge that my dad stumbled across, and it looked like a spot where two huge bucks were fighting. And there was like a giant rub line coming across. He's like, we got to go hunt this. We hunted it, and the deer that we had known about forever came out on that ridge. So I was assuming he was the one that won the fight. Wow. But that was all based off of food, off acorns. And both of your cameras are right under white oaks.
That is something that I'm like, oh, they're both. Well, the island one maybe is not as food centric. It is, but the other one's like 1,000% food centric. You know,
for sure.
And if they don't hit that scrape that we made, we're not getting them on camera because that camera's pointed at the scrape with nothing else.
Which did have like 3 trails coming right to that point.
Yeah,
too.
And hopefully that's all good. And so the other thing that you mentioned, like the beans are going to brown up and stuff. So a younger me would have just. And I had done this. I would hunt over the field edge. And that's just what you think to do because that's what you see people when they're glassing, when you're glassing, when you're watching, that's where the deer are. It's open. My shot, there's nothing blocking my shot. The deer always come to the field at night. I'm driving on the road. The deer always come to the field. So you just have that in your brain.
Yeah.
And I think that does happen for a while until it doesn't.
Well, that's such a tricky one because you sent me videos of some pretty huge frickin' deer out in a field. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in broad daylight, but like hunting that. So like we got to see like way off in the distance, there's some egg fields and when we drove around and like, could there be a big buck that comes out to there like opening weekend? There could be. But like my experience is like the big ones are always like if you hunted in the first white oak from cover, like that one spot, we found like some bedding, then there's a white oak. You could hunt in that tree and they could never make it to even that tree in daylight.
Yeah, right.
Like they could just linger in the cover. Like that's been always my experience. I've never had like the good luck of, well, yeah, he just came out right into the easy spot. Like that's just never happened for me. I have friends that happens for. It just doesn't. Like I just abandoned that a long time ago.
But I do think that a majority. I'm also thinking about like, and I actually probably thought more about this than deer, which is funny because public land is crowded. I don't care where you go. It's going to be pressured. And so I do put a lot of energy and effort into like, how do I mitigate pressure, which is why I like the water access. Yeah. Though a lot of people are doing it, fewer are doing that than just parking and walking. Like it is less, and it's still a lot of people in general. But then I'm like, how are other people going to approach this? I think a lot of folks are going to just go to the hardwoods. And I've validated that the property I've been hunting the last couple of years. I had a guy tell me, he's like, I'm going to here, pal. And he walked past Greg, and that's where he was going. Like, he didn't lie to me. He did what he said he was going to do, and he that's what most people are going to do. And I was like, listening to, this has just been soldered into my mind now. Hunt the thick stuff that is not really that easy or even remotely possible to set up. And not so thick that you can't get a shot up, but so thick that like you're not setting up in a tree. Or like if you are, it's
but you've had action out there.
So much, dude, so much action.
And you've gotten shots.
It's very much validated for me. So now I'm like getting really keyed in on, you can actually see my strategy shifting. So I still don't know a lot of the finer detail things. Like you're still looking at like, dude, this branch is broken here on this path. That's because there's antlers coming through here. I'm still not there completely, but the hunting public put out a video that, of course, I've been watching it lately because like this is the time to get all jazzed up about stuff. But they did it like paying attention to details video, and it was pretty great because one of the posts was like, segments or whatever was, there were 3 paths. It was a bit watery and muddy, but this path, the mud was still disturbed under the water, and those ones weren't. And that's the path we chose to follow, and that's where we got a deer. And I'm like, of course that makes sense. But if you're not slowing down and paying attention, you have to learn about this stuff either from something like that or from someone like you or whoever is your mentor or experience to then know to pick up on it. So I'm still like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what I don't know. So therefore I'm not keying into it. But when I learn something, I'm starting to key into things.
Well, and there's almost like a
progression or something,
a sequential order in which is most beneficial to learn it, but like you don't have control over that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so one of the things I want to bring up, one of the things that you just talked about, and one of the things I didn't talk about when we were scouting, but was in the back of my mind, and both of them relate to Brian Dombrowski.
Okay.
Shadow Pursuits on Instagram. If you do not follow Brian, please go follow Brian and just watch his Instagram stories. You will learn more about big bucks in the next season than you will learn from anyone else in Wisconsin. No doubt.
Sound like we need a round 2 with him on.
Brian's
GP.
Amazing. Yeah, he's super relatable, super humble, super nice guy. But we did that Onyx event, and Brian was one of the guest speakers. And he picked all these spots. He picked a public marsh that he doesn't hunt that was close to where we were for the seminar. And he just broke down the marsh into spots that he liked, spots that he thinks bucks live. And like he went through it. And people were like, he was explaining it, and you could just see people's minds like,
light bulbs are turning on.
Like I didn't even like, that makes total sense. And like he sat down, we had a short amount of time. We had like 15 minutes. And I spent like the first 4 minutes like praising Brian and being like, guys, did you notice like every spot Brian had picked looked like the ugliest spot on a map you would ever see? Like they looked ugly. He picked the shittiest spots. Like there's something to that. He didn't pick any that were going to be like in beautiful stands of hardwoods that were going to be like easy to set up.
Not to say that can't work, but like.
No, but like this guy is on big deer all the time. Yeah. He picked ugly spots. And one of the other things, his favorite spots was within 100 yards of private. And while he was talking, I brought up, I was like, do you find that a lot of big deer bed close to the property lines? He's like, oh, absolutely. Where do we find all those big tracks? The trail paralleling the private property, which was in the back of my mind. I like that spot for that camera. But deer love, that's an edge. Like we don't think about that as like a wooded edge.
They actually created an edge.
It's a pressure edge. Yeah. They did there too. But I mean like deer know that like things don't cross this, like either things come in from this way or things come in for this way.
So they kind of get pushed there just naturally.
If they live that line, there's safety on either side depending on where it's coming from. But like those lines, they figure out real quick.
Deer live their life 1/4 acre at a time.
1/4 acre. I wish I could do that.
They live that line. I tend to not want to give deer too much credit because then I feel really stupid when it doesn't work out. I like to think that they are smart enough to figure things out, but also their instincts are so good that they just naturally get pressured to that spot.
That's what's happening.
They just naturally, it's like magnets. If I had 2 magnets on opposing ends to one in the middle, if I just did this, that one would just eventually arrive in the middle of them.
Well, and that's how deer arrive in all these places we talk about is like if something was trying to kill you, right? Where would you go to hide? Somewhere you don't ever experience that thing trying to kill you.
Yeah.
That's how they end up in those spots that are like, wow, that's a really stupid, like I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
Because that's where they just don't experience someone trying to kill them.
Yep.
And the more years you live, the more those big deer figure out those spots or where they have the most advantages. The most like, the balloons,
and some of those,
the wind down
that was wild because we found did we not find like
found 2.
A big, like what I think we thought was buck bedding. And then I was like, you're like, what's that blue thing? I was like, is it a fucking balloon? Of course it is. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Never fails.
So stupid. I was like, come on. But the wind, like, okay, it's just telling you something here for this animal. I watched that, and I think he agreed to come on the podcast at some point here, so I got to get it scheduled. But the gentleman that did the whitetail research, he did the year of drone stuff on YouTube. Worth the watch. I didn't watch the rest of the stuff yet. I watched that main one that he put out.
Yeah, they're super cool.
And one thing stood out to me because I think, like, I was already thinking about it based on what you've said. Like, these deer just mill around in their super nucleus area and just kill time and then slowly meander out. And they take their sweet time. And he recorded a lot of that activity. So the area that I set up to hopefully hunt this season, I think a lot of hunters are going to get held up at the field edges, around the beans and the hardwoods. And I think I'm not going to be there at all. And even those bucks are going that direction, I think I might be able to intercept them well before they get there, while it's still daylight, and have an opportunity. Now, whether or not I can actually capitalize on that opportunity is a whole different fucking story for me. But the encounters are always amazing.
I really do think that spot that you're talking about, I think that's going to be where the first big buck is going to show up.
Yeah.
It's going to be right there.
And big to me is relative, guys. Like, and it might be really big if Derek's saying it's going to be big, but like I'm
just saying, like, big as in, like,
I know what you mean.
3-year-old buck.
Yeah.
Which on Wisconsin Public.
And there's a ton of deer
that's a really good buck
in this general region. They're all around, dude. They are.
We like that. So we were walking through some low shit, right? But there was it was little subtle changes of like slightly higher marsh grass with cattail edges. And there was like one little nice spot where like, oh, there's some travel here, but like, you know, it's not a lot of structure. And then we peeled around to this just little pocket of brush. It really wasn't much. A couple little buckthorn trees.
It started to get looking like it was a little bit better.
And then all of a sudden I found a broken, snapped rub. All the shit's really small though.
You need to talk about that, because you called it out when we were out there, and you talked about, and this is a thing. Like, as hunters, you see a nice, like a bigger tree, like a cedar tree, and it's rubbed. Those are always rubbed. Yeah. And that shredding of that bark, boy, that, like, you guys went from 6 to noon. You know, like, you're like, there's a big buck here. It's a big tree. He's doing big things. It's tall. This is it.
Big boys doing big things.
Where I killed the buck above my head, there wasn't shit to rub on. There wasn't shit. And now I did see some rubs, but I didn't think much of them because they were tiny little trees.
Yeah.
I was like, small deer do rub small trees. Not true. I mean, maybe true, but also something else could be equally true, which is that if there are no big trees to rub, the big ones are going to only rub what's here.
Which is the case in a lot of those, like, marshy, grassy bedding areas. Like, what is there? It's like red brush. There's some buckthorn, which they don't love rubbing on. And there's some willows. And in this case, there were some willows. And I mean, I'm talking like the size of our index finger.
Yeah.
And they were rubbed up.
It don't take much to snap them off.
No, they were rubbed up. There was one slightly bigger one that was broken in half. But I didn't really think much of it. We're just walking in the edge, and all of a sudden, Eric, you found that first bed. And under this buckthorn,
I was like, that looks like a big bed.
There was like, you know, just one of those perfect little shelters of like some other red brush or some shit coming over, and there's a great big bed on a nice high little mountain. I was like, shit, that's big, that's nice. And then we walked back, found a couple of those rubs. There's no other big trees within 200 yards, so they're not going to make big rubs. And rub what's there, and rubs around it are good because it's telling you, hey, bucks are using this at different.
Well, I'll ask you this, and I'll talk about this a little bit. So we talk about thick, ugly spots, and based on the deer I shot last year and where it ran to like feel safe, that was the literal thickest spot on the entire map for that property. It doesn't get any thicker, and it's thick all around there, but then it gets concentratedly far more thick and gross. And that's where that deer went. That's the other deer that I like. A year before last, I saw a really big one come out of that same stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, I now know where those fucking deer on that property bed. Mm-hmm. Good luck getting them. That's why they bed there.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you can actually, like, luck of the draw, which path they take to come out. I have no idea. I got lucky once, not lucky enough because I couldn't make it happen. The spot we're looking at now, it's not thick per se. There's these patches of stuff. And I've seen those patches of things before in this same type of terrain on other properties. And I remember the first time I'd ever seen big bucks in droves. I called my dad. I climbed a tree. I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have a stand or anything. I just climbed a tree and sat in this armpit of the tree. And I was like, I'm going to kill one like this. Great.
Rambo.
I started seeing bucks popping. They were a second ago and suddenly they were there. They were just like appearing, which they were getting up out of their beds. Their beds were in the exact same stuff we were looking at. So in my mind, I'm like, that fucking betting.
Now,
whatever those are called, whatever that stuff is called, I don't know. It's like these little brambles of bushes that come together.
Which is super, super good early season because there's what was out there? A million different kinds of plants. I shouldn't say a million. There's 20 different kinds of plants.
Yeah.
So thick doesn't always have to mean thick timber. It was thick with stem count, right? And ugly doesn't have to mean the thickest spot in the world. Ugly has to mean if you were looking at an aerial, would someone pick that spot out? No.
There's nowhere to set up.
Like most people are going to pick out that beautiful hardwoods, like a ridge, like that's a pretty spot. That's the spot you see in the real tree videos.
You stand
the
up
ugly
in that.
spot is this, like where would I hunt out here? Like how would I see? Those are the spots that they're going to be for the stuff we're hunting.
Yeah.
So like, that's why I like that spot so much. I think if you sat up in that tree, man, I think you would see bucks popping out. Our buddy Dave Bechtel, he has an awesome video that I think will be coming out. Oh no, maybe this one already came out last year. He shot a really nice buck, but he had a night early season where he was sitting over this big grassy CRP field, just full of wildflowers, and it just looks open and like a meadow. And all of a sudden, just before dark, buck pops up. Holy cow, that shit's deeper than he thought. He's got this all on video. It's beautiful. Like 4 bucks stand up out of this wildflower CRP and just like work their way across, rubbing every little piece of grass and whatever. 2 of them are like really nice bucks, just laying out in the middle of this grass field next to a couple of little tiny poplar trees that are like 5 feet tall. That's where they lived.
Wow.
Out in the middle. Nowhere near the trees. They never even made it to the tree line before dark. They just stayed because they knew they were safe.
Yeah.
Because no one ever bothers them out there.
I mean, at this point, I'm probably getting too romantic about this spot that we picked. And you know, who knows? Maybe they're working it and they'll be using it. I'll get good camera stuff, and then eventually I go to hunt and they don't show up that day or something. Like that is totally possible. So I always struggle with that as a deer hunter. Is that just because I didn't see it happen on that hunt doesn't mean it wasn't correct or right. It just wasn't that hunt. And without that validation, it creates all the second guessing. I'm not doing, and I've had enough things go right in similar areas that I have a lot of confidence. And I know my cousin Jeremy, when he was on Dropping Pins, he talked about having confidence in your setup and your spot. And if he loses that confidence, he's moving on. That's a hard decision to make.
That's one thing I love that Jeremy said is he said sometimes he'll go out onto a property and he'll never set up. He'll just walk. And he's like, if I don't see the tracks or see the rubs, he's like, I'm not setting up just to set up and get in a tree. He's like, I'll just learn as much as I can and I'll turn around and head to the truck at dark. And I was like, most people can't do that. Like if they go out to hunt, they're gonna find a tree.
You're like,
and
it could happen.
And he's like,
it could, but also,
no, I'll just use this to gather as much information as possible. That's huge.
Yeah, he took me speed scouting.
Smart.
Speed scouting is not a term I'd ever even heard before.
I've done speed.
We worked a property so fast. And you talk about slowing down and paying attention to detail, but he was like, I'm going to TMI here for myself. It's just what gets said on air is out there forever. My brain is like a Rolodex, just like a film reel, just fast all the time, right?
Of course.
Okay, so I think people probably know this one.
Yeah, they know.
I'll tell you the few times I've partaken in the devil's lettuce. That is still happening, except there's like a strobe light on the Rolodex, and it's like
hitting important
I'm
stuff.
seeing it, but it's not slowed down. I'm just now seeing it in slow motion, even though it's like that's my description of me when I'm under that influence. Okay. I felt like that's how he was seeing the property going fast. He's going fast, but boy, oh boy, he did not take anything in. Like he was still getting all of the intel. I wasn't. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he was able to like evaluate and say, no, there's nothing here.
I've heard it from a couple people, but Hal Blood, the tracker from up in Maine, he says it a lot that, what does he say? 90% of the deer and 10% of the forest.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like Jeremy, your cousin, who's got loads of experience, and he obviously eats, breathes, lives deer.
Yeah, much like you do.
What he's doing is he's running through the woods until like a novice person following him. It just looks like he's just missing everything. But he knows where that 90% of nothing is, and he's just focusing on those tiny little spots where he knows if I was a buck, I would move here.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, but the more you freaking like shed hunt and trail cam and think about like where big bucks are, the more you start walking where big bucks do, right? You just slowly pick it up and you start putting yourself in the places where they would tend to be.
I could just take half of what I know in marketing and apply it to how to get the woods.
You just market to deer a little bit more. You're doing too much marketing to hunters. You're gonna get in these bucks' minds.
The phone lines are open, by the way. For anyone tuning in live, like the phone lines are open. I forgot to go live on Instagram. I always forget to do that because I have to like do it twice. But so we are there now, I think. Anyway, we're 35 minutes in. The phone lines are open. I believe I fixed the issue where our live viewers couldn't hear our caller. I think I have it resolved. So I actually would really encourage and love a call to make sure that it is functioning. This is the first time I'm trying this tech stack, whatever.
Another shout out to Calder.
Dude, this is
I know you called him out last week. I saw that part, but
I didn't try that one last time.
Calder from driving all the way from New York to Foam Fest and bringing us 2 bottles. And he messaged me today.
Oh, yes.
And was like, Naomi couldn't sleep last night. She was sad before bedtime.
Oh, no.
When I asked her why she was sad, this is what she said. And he sends a video and it's dark because the lights are off in her room. But she's like, I miss Penny, Eric's daughter.
Dude.
And I was like, that's the sweetest thing.
Well, she doesn't miss Jude because I'm pretty sure Jude kicked her to the ground because he's a savage psycho beast of a 3-year-old. And we made him apologize to her. But she seemed like a pretty spunky kid, so I feel like she probably could have handled it better than most.
She was a hoot, man. She was a hoot.
Jude's been on some shit lately, man, that kid. I hope you listen to this someday, Jude.
You've been a real tough cookie.
He's just a very spirited child, and you gotta love him. He's got the biggest heart, but he goes hard all freaking day. That dude doesn't stop. The second he's the first one up, the last in the bed, and never sleeps during the day. And just from the second he's up, he's all on. The other kids have to like wake up and come to not him. He wakes up awake. Like there's no.
He's gonna be a hell of a duck hunter.
He's gonna do something, and he's gonna continue to keep me going later on in life. I think that kid will keep me on my toes. Yeah. Which I'm also excited for. Just bringing kids to do more stuff outdoors. You've done a good job bringing Gus out with you. I give you props because it's hard to bring a kid into this stuff. I question like where are the points that I can bring them? Like certainly not on the trail cam adventure we just did. That wasn't going to work.
No, and he hasn't done any of the trail cam stuff with me because
it's thick.
When I go do the trail cams, like I messaged you guys and told you how beat I was. Like that's like I'm on a mission. It's not like I'm not going out there to enjoy the wild. Like I've got a mission and I got to accomplish my mission or like come close to it. And the hunting part, like, I don't care if I throw up. Like
that I gotta hold on because I thought about this exactly what you're saying. I mean, I'm interrupting you, but
no,
scouting is work.
Yeah,
scouting is work, and like I talked about a little bit of like you're climbing a tree. We're out here, like that's still fun, even though it's encapsulated in work. Hunting is a time to enjoy the fruit of your labor, or the break that you get from the labor, like. That is the time you can slow down and take it on. The moment you actually get to your stand or your setup, your ground blind or whatever you're doing, that's when you can take that breath and you go, all right, I got all my stuff set up. Now this is it. And then watch a deer come right away and you're like, wow, I wasn't ready for you yet. You're like, I didn't get to enjoy my hunt yet.
It's like when I go after school and I'm limited on time. So I get like a couple hours in the afternoon. It's harder for me to slow down. And like, if I have to go home, get Gus and then like get to the woods, it's harder for me to slow down mentally because I'm like,
it's tough.
But like on a weekend is ideal. If we can go out earlier, and I just try to think like from his
your schedule's
like,
open.
We want to look at the grasshoppers on the way in. We want to like flick the milkweed and like flick it in the air and see what the winds are like. The more like kid stuff we can do along the way, the more fun it's going to be for him.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this before, but like. The times that I brought him, I don't like take him to the super easy spots. Like I've made him
challenge him a little bit. Yeah.
Because I want him to know that this is what it is. Not that like it's this cushy thing, but really when you're old enough, I'm going to make you do a lot harder. Like, no, this is what it is.
And you wonder how much I'll be able to tolerate. I remember my dad talking me to the Nicolay. He's like, all right, it's going to be cold out there. You'll be able to sit all day. I was like, I got this. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking freezing.
I might die, Dad.
But I was like hell-bent on like, no, I can do this. Yeah. But I usually did give up first. And I remember one winter it was like really cold. And the spare key was frozen in a block of ice under the wheel well. Stupid place to put it, apparently. I was
Slush flying up from under.
Dad, I can't get in the truck. I think I'm getting frostbite. Okay, I'll get down. I'm pretty cold, actually.
Pee on it, Eric.
He's probably like,
Pee
thank
on
God. Yeah. He's probably like, oh, thank God he gave up. Like, I wonder how much my dad, and he'll listen to this at some point, I wonder how much he was like, I can't let up before he does.
See, I'm a really stubborn person. And being the only child, I never wanted to disappoint Dad, ever.
But he probably never wanted to disappoint you.
I never quit
you
once. Like, from the first year, like, we sat dark to dark. That was it. Like, no matter what the temperature was. Didn't matter. Like, I never complained. Like, you just cry on the inside. But no, I knew my dad was like, you know, whoever you're with, like, you watch them. And like, Dad was intent on watching and listening all day. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So this is what you do. Just sit here.
But those naps in the Northwoods in the truck before the sun came up, before it was like still super dark, and you just had to claim your spot with your parking spot, essentially on the logging road or whatever. And you just be like, let's just rest here for a little bit. Man, that was great. Like those. And now I do it differently. Like now we hunt down here, and I'm not like concerned about falling asleep like by a bear or a wolf or something like that. It's just kind of like.
You guys have a cool deer camp.
Yeah.
You got a camp. You bring your friends. That's super cool.
But I get to my spot, and I'm like, all right, I'm here 30 minutes before the sun's even going to come up. I can't shoot anything anyways. I'm going to rest my eyes. And it's magnificent.
I have dreams about
until I hear
that
something. I'm like, oh, God, what the
I have dreams about that moment. Like coming up to gun season, it's like sitting in your stand, and like I have dreams where like, you know, like the high school dream, like
yeah.
where you're like late for class. Like I have those dreams leading up to gun season where like I wake up and it's light out and I'm like, no, what happened?
I'm that guy today. Damn
it's
it.
gray light and I gotta get in the truck.
You always see that guy coming through and you're like, you freaking, where's your etiquette? And then the other parts of me, you're like, he probably overslept on accident. And I was
hungover as shit.
Yeah. Dude, you see me over here with my red freaking beam. Get out of here. You know?
I can't imagine.
Like my buddy.
I can't imagine Michael John still listening because he's got 2 kids who are probably getting ready for bed. But that's my good friend Mike.
Oh, okay.
He used to come hunt the Nicolay, stay at the cabin with us. Mike, if you ever want to come back up, he's doing like a crivets thing. They got a cool camp.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to come back up, we should get another deer camp going.
The Northwoods I was just talking about, that's crivets. We hunted Phelps and crivets. Like that's
funny. They got like a really old shitty construction trailer that's like has a population of like 300 mice in it.
Oh God.
But they go up there and they hunt like I think they got 80 acres up there.
Dude, I remember going up there and I could give spots away now. It doesn't really matter because it was I think it was over 10 years ago now, which is sad to think about. But I think it was Mail Route Road is what I remember the most. So like that was like always a spot that we had frequented. And I don't know, we got stuck in a rut on the road for the longest. My dad had to take all the way down to the road, finally turned to get out of this rut with his Dodge Ram. And was this a Chevy? I think he had a Chevy then. But I was like, are you really stuck? And it just goes all the way down the road and finally comes all the way back. The 4-wheel couldn't get him out. And like, yeah, but Mail Route Road, there was like some old airport landing strip there. And I remember like my dad told me a story. He showed me this is a tree I got treed in by a sow with a couple cubs and I couldn't get down. My buddies had to come from the bar and like shoot a gun to get the bear. So they started shouting or something like that. And the bear finally, he didn't want to get down with it right there. He's like a little maul me. He's got cubs with it. So like, there's all these stories from up there that I get to hear that, and this is a spot that blah, blah, blah. And Randy got stuck out here and had to spend the night one night or something. I was like, what the fuck goes on here?
That's cool.
I say it every year. I want to get back up there one of these times. I want to like drive up there in bow season and just hunt some logging.
You're welcome to come up
to do it. I know, and I totally fudged the opportunity this summer to
bring the kids. I mean, like we should, just let's make it happen. Let's just make it fun. Like it doesn't have to be super serious. If we sneak out for a Saturday night hunt, that would be awesome. But then the rest of the time, it's
whatever.
Be good.
I'll probably want to hunt.
Man, there's some just the cool traditions, like you just mentioned the stories. There was this group, guy named Goofy. He owned a bar, but everyone called him Goofy. He was obsessed with like, Goofy. Well, no, it wasn't
the character.
But he was all about him, and even his license plate was like Goofy.
I love when people personify that.
But he was a bar owner, so he knew everybody, and they organized drives, so everyone knew like Monday morning they're gonna get 40 to 50 guys.
Oh, wow.
And they're gonna push
deer.
This giant swamp. That's like, I mean, you can't push it with 40 guys, but they pushed it, And like if you were anywhere around there, there's probably going to be deer flying all over, or you're at least going to hear some gunshots, have some excitement. But like that kind of thing was so cool. And then like you meet up with them afterward and like, hey, what'd you see? You know, oh, we jumped a couple, went this way, and like that was just so cool. And like driving by certain guys' camps and seeing if they had stuff hanging because there was like a bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't happen like that anymore.
That's what you were saying before. Like it's changed. Like the deer camps are dying or something.
Yeah. A little bit.
And up there, I think it is. There's just people have stopped hunting up there for reasons we have. And even though we didn't own property up there, like we were still frequenting all the same stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like I think we were staying at Nicolay National Shores or something, like some sort of timeshare place. So it was like a really, what I thought would like a really nice, kind of like a hotel almost, but there's a big pool and hot tub in the middle. You walk in your room, you get this huge picture window with this fireplace, a loft. You know, it's just like, wow, this is special, you know.
Cool memory.
Everyone goes out and does their hunt. We all come back at the end of the day, and it's like, this is great. Vegan list, what's happening or what's new? I don't know. Well, we're talking about what's new right now. A little, well, now we're actually reminiscing a bunch, but hanging some cell cams.
Talking about what's old.
Yeah. Not too, I mean, we're in this new space. So it's kind of fun. It's coming along, kind of. And we still don't really know what to do with it. We're doing stuff.
You're doing fine.
Yeah. We got this huge vacant room over here. I don't know what to do with that.
I got this room set up, but like it's cool out there now.
Yeah, it's a lot. We're trying to create a vibe. Yeah.
I'm heading down Friday to Illinois.
All right.
For a good old
pre-deer camp.
Yeah, like I messaged the Illinois crew, which is our text group name.
I'm a little jealous. I really am.
Yeah, I mean it's a good one. And I was like, told them about the trail cam day, and I was like, my hips are killing. Pretty much the same text I sent. And
10
was
miles.
like, good, perfect warm up for this weekend, because this weekend's going to be not as much marsh grass, but it's all stinging nettles.
Oh,
everything
that shit's
is
not good.
And poison ivy down there.
I hate singing. I didn't know I had singing on my old house in my yard, and I cleared it out. And did clear it out initially. I just started pulling stuff out. That was a fucking mistake. I was like, I think something's wrong with me. It was like all red everywhere. And it started getting worse and worse and burning and stinging. And I was like, then I learned about stinging nettle. That's how I learned about it. So then I went and bought like some concentrated poison and just scorched the shit out of it. That was the best.
What was it?
I don't know.
Did you put on it?
I don't, on my arms and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Nothing. I just suffered. I didn't know what to do. You put stuff on it?
I don't know.
Like calamine lotion?
That's why I was curious.
Oh, no. I just dealt with it. I was like, oh, this sucks.
I don't know if you like fixed it.
But I went and bought like some like hardcore weed killer.
And
you're supposed to mix it with water. I just bought like a whole bunch of bottles, like a small concentrate.
That did the trick. 4 minutes later, they were
died like the next day. I was like, you stinging that.
So Adam, who you still not met yet, I don't think, but Adam's a hoot, and he does a lot of fly fishing. He had bought like these really, really thin camp pants for like when he goes fly fishing and stuff. He was like, it's always 95 degrees when we go down Illinois for the scouting mission. So he's like, I'm going to wear those super light. Like, forgot that, like,
it's all buckthorn.
Everything is stinging nettles, and they go right through. So we were walking through this one. We had to go through this bottom. As soon as you get low on those hills, it's all stinging nettles. And we're like, we got to go to the other side. And he starts, and he's just freaking cursing. And all of a sudden, we're like, where's Adam? just went back and sat at the truck. He was like, screw this, I'm not doing it. Because it was
oh, good. So there's another one like me out there, because I would have given up on that shit too.
Well, he's like, 3 other guys are going. Why do I gotta go?
So are you familiar with the property you're going to be going to?
Yeah, but it's a big property.
So you haven't like covered most of it yet?
I've covered a lot, just because that's just what I like to do. But I'm always like torn between go back to the spots that you know, or there's always that like, what if I go look over here or over here?
We talked about that going.
How much
we kind of did that on the property we're just at.
That's what I've done.
Kind of got to see all of it, and I think the same way, because I was like, "You like, do you want to keep going, or what do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, kind of," because I just want the more. If I keep putting the puzzle together, I'll have a better picture of what's happening here.
Well, and
if I have a limited picture, I'm not working with the whole fucking thing yet.
And what we did was kind of cool, because the area you hung your cameras is a lot of open, marshy pockets.
It's kind of connected to a little bit of where,
and it's very close
to adjacent to your stuff and adjacent to the other stuff.
We walked over where I hung my cameras,
super different.
Was just wooded, but like marshy, but like way more timber. So like we have 2 cameras there and 2 cameras there, and the idea was that like yours are cell cameras, so you'll know. But then I kind of said, hey, if you paddle down here to go hunt and you have time, we hung one camera not far off, but in a really good spot with a lot of concentration. Like, if you want to go check it, so you know which. Which
area to go. Yeah.
It'll be curious. It'll be really interesting to see like the difference of pictures of like what, are we getting the same bucks? Are we getting different bucks? You know, more deer activity, less deer. Like what are they doing and when?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I mean, now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I can see how cameras are addicting from the perspective of like, it's like trapping. You get a deer to step into this area, you get a photo of it. Now you're starting to get a bigger picture of what's happening in the area based on deer too. And I think the Moultrie cameras that we have, they have a tagging system. So in the app, you can tag. It's called smart tags. So it'll smart tag mature buck versus doe versus whatever. So you can actually build a bit of a deer census of the population, or the population census of the area you're hunting. So it'll actually start to help you figure out doe to buck ratio even.
That's cool.
I'm like, yeah, it's freaking wild because I only have 2 cameras. So like,
the thing that interests me,
but the more that the web grows, I'm kind of like, I want to go buy a whole bunch more and start paying more cameras. The thing that interests
me about that Moultrie's got,
you have to look into this a little bit more.
AI system, but like you can tap on your phone, like in the app, to like if there's like a branch that's blowing with leaves and like keeps triggering your camera, you can tap that part of the screen on your phone through the app, and it will eliminate that from detection.
I haven't had a need for that. So that you can
stop false detections.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours are both.
That's what's like the Ring doorbell. Like the Ring doorbell has that technology. It's like you can mark the areas where like, I don't want to get a car every 2 seconds.
Yeah, so like mark off the road, but like anything comes in your drive. It's the same idea, right?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty huge. Because especially when you're paying per photo or per
and you think they would
photo.
Want you to pay for as many, but no, if you just do what's right for the consumer, like that's a better outcome for everybody. For sure. Like that's a happier customer. More repeat business. I've never been a part of deer camp before, but I'd like to get the chance to be a part of one. Keaton, it's a good time. I mean, it's just what you'd expect. Chili, farts, beer, bad jokes, and lots of stories and reminiscing and all that stuff. It's fun.
Deer camp over potential to kill big bucks.
2 different books.
Deer camp is greater.
Yeah.
Changed my mind.
So that is, I think they're 2 different things. That's why bow and gun are 2 different like books around the same topic in my mind. But if I had to choose one, I'm choosing the camaraderie stuff,
especially for gun season.
Yeah,
right. Like
it's at least here in Wisconsin, and I'm sure it's like this other place, like PA. I think has a little bit of this vibe going on. Like the way we tailgate, I don't think other states even understand what that means.
No.
Like when we talk about Packers and Brewers games, we tailgate. Like the tailgate's almost better than the game.
Some people don't leave the tailgate, even though they have tickets.
And you kind of force you at some point to get into the stadium. Like, you got to go.
It's a good time.
Deer camp is its own entire thing here, and it's very special, coveted. I've gotten in some spouts with my wife about deer camp because I've not gone to weddings with her because, like, well, that's at deer camp. She's like, you're going to go hunting? I says, it's not just hunting. You're talking about tradition here.
I had a friend.
It's tricky. It's a tricky thing.
I had a friend whose brother.
No calls yet. By the way, phone lines are open.
Younger brother was born on opening weekend of deer season.
Okay.
Or Wisconsin's gun season. And like, it's not always the same, right? But it's always like the 3rd weekend in November.
The weekend before Thanksgiving.
And the weekends that younger brother's birthday fell on the Saturday or Sunday of deer season, the dad never attended to the birthday party.
Oh, that's the problem.
Always went to deer camp.
At some point, junior's coming with the camp, right? Like at some point,
you would hope.
But shit, that's a lot of resentment there.
At that point, there's already that much resentment built up.
That's tricky. You got to time that stuff appropriately. You got to be careful.
Damien did ask before what broadheads you're shooting. What broadheads do you shoot?
Well, it's going to be a toss-up. I think I'm going to
contact ones. What are you doing?
Try the contact. I've already used those, but I'm going to be probably trying and we've talked to Lyndon, and he's messaged us the kudu point, and we have some Okayest Hunter branded kudu points, which would be really pretty cool
and they're pretty cool heads.
Happens. They're good heads. I trust Lyndon enough to like, okay, we'll give it a go.
Lyndon might be the most trustworthy human that I've ever met.
Yes, from just a human perspective, yes.
Human efficiency. If Lyndon says it, just yes.
Yeah. The fact that you expressed being tired out by another human was just like very telling.
That guy is absolutely insane.
He doesn't do this.
No, it shows.
Wednesdays are rough. I'm up late. I've had some bourbon. Like Wednesdays, I'm like, oh man, what's happening? Brutal. But no. So to answer your question, that's probably what. So the method, formerly Vector, are now Contact Archery. I have those heads. I had good success with them. I trust that broadhead. You're using.
I'm the only one of the Okayest crew,
which I don't mind that
any
either.
kind of mechanical. I've shot the Grim Reaper 3-blade. Now Grim Reaper makes like a whitetail special that's like a 2.5 inch cut. I do not use a super wide cut. I use their smallest one, which is like a 1 3/8 inch. It's a 3-blade expandable. It opens from the front to the back. I have had amazing success with it. I don't think I've had a deer go over 100 yards, most within 60. So I use that.
Okay.
And I love it.
There was I'm not going to be able to find it. There was a comment a couple weeks ago, and I talked about it last week with Matt about, I think this is the one. The margin of human error greatly surpasses any margin of error in any of the broadheads. Basically, you will mess up a shot before a broadhead will. The broadhead is just your whipping boy, or essentially like your
scapegoat. Your scapegoat.
Not that I want to use it that way, but like it can only do so much to compensate for putting the arrow where it needs to go. And we all know that you can try as hard as you want to put an arrow where it's supposed to go, but shit happens. So you want a broadhead that can give you some grace, or a handicap, if you will, like if you're into golf. I think that's the term people use. So I would just strive to do as good as I can without having to lean on that, knowing that if I needed the backup, that it's got my back. And I don't know what gives me more of that. I'm not sure. And I know there's lots of arguments, and it's a heated debate, and
it is
I don't care. Just pick whatever the hell you're most confident with. And it's all very subjective stuff.
The biggest part of the whole broadhead debate and how effective is you better do your best damn job blood tracking. If you're going to give up after 30 minutes because there's not good blood, then just don't.
Yeah.
Like your job after you release that arrow is to do every goddamn thing you can do to recover that deer.
Yeah.
Like,
and it can get frustrating and like it's bad.
You might feel like there's no way you ever hit it, and then 30 yards later it opens up and there's blood, and then there's more blood.
I've heard about the 30 yards later blood opens up.
I've had it happen.
What is that all about?
I've had it happen. It all depends on the hit and how many arteries and how many, like sometimes it builds up. Sometimes if you don't have an exit hole, you only have an entry hole, the blood has to build up in the cavity before it comes out. So the deer needs to get it pumping for 30, 40 yards before all of a sudden it starts coming out.
Yeah.
Especially if your arrow is in. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you bury it in the offside shoulder, you hit high, and you're not going to get shit for blood, but the deer's going to die. Like you have to do.
You're making me feel a lot of remorse for last season. Now I'm like replaying all that again.
But I was pretty adamant last season. Like, well, let's go check, let's go look, and you're sure that wasn't your deer.
And I was right that it wasn't my deer.
It wasn't,
which made me feel a little bit better. But then we still don't know what'll happen to my deer.
Yeah,
or quote unquote my deer. But like, what the fuck happened? That deer above you, that was a femoral artery hit by luck. But I watched that deer. I shot him at like 30 yards. He ran towards me and died pretty much right under my tree.
Very quickly. And
I thought, I knew the shot was not great in my mind. So I was like, oh, he must just be bedding down right now already. And he ran like 30 yards towards me and then crap. So I knocked another arrow and I was like, do I need to shoot him again right here? And I thought I was going to shoot this deer as he was like trying to recover. And then he like died. I was so confused. I was like, what the just happened? I was like, that shot didn't go how it was supposed to go. I didn't stop him, which is something that I struggle with apparently because it happened again last season. Luckily, I got the deer dead again.
I don't think there's any way you could have stopped last season. It was in your lap. If you would have made a noise, you would have freaked out.
Well, I did make a noise, and he didn't stop.
Well, then
I didn't make a loud enough noise.
Because you didn't make it loud. You would have freaked out, dude. He would have thought he farted and scared himself out of there.
But then the blood trail was murder scene. It was like Dexter.
Yeah, the femoral.
I was like, holy
the Texas heart shot.
I didn't need to track him, but I was kind of like trying to find. I never found my arrow. It was gone. I don't know where that went. And I wanted to find the arrow because the first buck I killed on public land ever with my bow. It was my first bow buck kill and on public land. It was like a lot of culmination of things. Oh! But I was like, cool, I don't have to track him. He's right freaking here.
Okay, let's talk 2 quick things relating to this from most hunting videos that you should not do. Number 1, after you shoot, you should not freak out and celebrate and yell and hoot and holler and look at the camera. You should listen and watch and mark mentally every tree and every spot that deer runs by. And you should listen for a good minute after the last sound you've ever heard, because you owe that animal every opportunity of recovery possible.
Yeah.
So that's what you should be doing. Celebrate after you've done everything you can to listen where that deer went, what it did. Did it crash? Did it not? Did it walk? That's important. Sometimes they get shot, they run off, they stand. 30 seconds later, after they look around, they'll walk. That's really important to know, because that tells you that that's probably not a double lung hit. It's probably a liver, 1 lung. You got to know that. So there's one thing that a lot of people do on camera. Even if you think you smoked it, just do you owe the animal. Second thing is, I always will blood trail a deer. Even if you saw it go down, go to your arrow, go to where you shot it, and take the 5 minutes, whatever time, blood trail it, because you will learn something from every blood trail.
I did blood trail that one, even though he was dead there. I wanted to see what happened.
You'll get better at looking at the tracks, what the scuffed leaves look like. You'll get better at where the blood, is it high, is it low? Do every blood trail and just celebrate after. Pay every attention you can to where and what it sounds like, because that's huge. It's huge.
Well, because that deer didn't go far and this deer didn't go far, the one I shot last year, I assumed didn't go far. I don't think he actually ended up going too far after all, as it had turned out. No blood. I was real.
You were almost because
I was.
It was almost dark when you shot him, right? So then, were you looking only in the dark for blood? For the most part, I was just. It was not. I was not okay. I was not my right mind at all. So I needed more. Probably, what I needed was moral support more than anything to just keep me from losing my shit completely. Yeah, it's hard.
But then I started to. I don't want to say I felt better that I didn't find the deer, but I felt better that the drone couldn't. I was like, if this thing can't find it, I wasn't going to find it. Are you kidding me? This is insane. It just started to get weirder and weirder and weirder as we went. But anyway.
The whole situation was weird with the drone, and it could have been him at first, and then but we didn't think it was. And
then there's another.
Then we found a dead deer very close to where you thought maybe it went.
Which is funny because he went that way, and not all the way that way, but pretty much that direction. And then listen, everything we're talking about, by the way, is about to be airing soon, because our last year's hunting season is about to be our season 3 of our hunting show, which is almost finished.
Sweet.
So I think Jace is just film scoring and audio scoring and all that stuff now.
I don't know what that means.
He's adding the audio to the emotion and creating the moments, but the whole arc has been established.
Arcs and scoring.
The story arc is there. He's got all the episodes laid out. He's just going back and doing all the fine tuning, the finished carpentry work. He did all the rough cuts. Gotcha. And it's all there, and then we review that together. We
need some finished carpentry in our basement right about now after all this rain.
I think I got to throw my carpet away.
I just peeled up all my carpet. Well, not all of it.
My padding's bad.
The padding I ripped all up because that's just, it can't dry out. And then
I think mine's mildewy already, and I'm I've just not been.
I got to just cut it.
Super frustrating. But that season will be out soon, and you'll understand more what we're talking about. But essentially, through Facebook and social media, I confirmed without a shadow beyond a reasonable doubt that the dead deer that the drone picked up was not, in fact, my deer.
It was not.
It's like the Maury. The results show you are not the dad.
You are not the father. That is not your buck.
And I remember saying, that buck looks bigger than the one I shot. And he goes, that's weird. Most people would never say that. It's like, most people aren't the Okayest Hunter.
We know who we are.
I'm telling you, that ain't my fucking deer. Like, I saw it. Okay, that ain't it. His antlers were darker. These are white. There's weird fur. That doesn't make sense. Everything about it felt weird. And then I found out through the Wisconsin Rut Report, I found the guy that found that deer, gave me the drop pin for it. And I was like, I had the exact latitude, longitude from the drone guy.
Because he dropped that pin.
Yep. And so I asked him, I said, I need that pin to validate that this is not my deer. So it was kind of like an awkward thing. I was like trying to validate that it wasn't my deer versus it was my deer. So the guy's like, give me the coordinates. I'll tell you if it's your deer or not your deer. I gave him the coordinates. He goes, okay, those are the exact coordinates I have. Sounds like it's not your deer then, because I found it a week earlier.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know whose deer it is, but it ain't mine, but I need to know that it wasn't mine because I had one run the same way and maybe die there. So just super freaking crazy. And I was like, wow, well, there's a lot more people hunting this property than I ever thought, because like not only did someone kill a deer and not recover it, someone else found that deer. So that's 2 hunters plus me, plus I saw other stands, plus I found out 2 other guys that I like know through work were hunting it. I was like, what's going on? The fact that I still even got one was wild
was
to me.
Was that a lot of the reason of you wanting to branch out this past weekend and try somewhere new?
Yeah, I think it's just getting hit real hard by I think the subdivision is pulling in a lot of people.
Yeah,
I remember Greg and I ran into a guy, and I was like, "We're canoeing back here, and this is, water access." And then all of a sudden, this dude just walks down this path. I was like,
out of his backyard.
I was like, how'd you get here? How'd you come from? He's like, well, I live in the subdivision right here. I just walk over. I was like, all right, well.
Guess the canoe doesn't feel as cool anymore, you jerk.
I still did canoe because I was like,
enjoy your
I'm not parking in the subdivision.
It's just like, you are not the father.
You canoed back here, hey? Good on you. I walked about 5 minutes to get here through a nice mowed path.
Actually, mow a path on my John Deere.
That's what it was. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And you know the path because you were out there with me. We were hanging cams last summer this time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, just know that whenever you want to venture out to a new space, I'm always game.
I haven't done that one was newer for me anyways. Like that one was new for the last.
Yeah.
I had success on it the first time. I was like, whoa, okay. And then I was stuck on it last year. I was very fixated on like, I can recreate that success. And then I did kinda, but just didn't. The fact that I shot 2 bucks back there is wild to me.
Pretty badass,
so like,
dude.
Kind of worked out.
Out of how many times did you sit back there? Twice?
Three times. And the first time I did see a deer, he didn't get close enough. Or I would have shot him. That was the day I cut my finger. So there you go.
There you go, dude.
So 3 for 3. Well, and the first time I saw a doe. So
it's way better odds than I'm swinging.
But yeah, I do enjoy adventure. I do like exploring, and I do like learning and pushing the limits a little bit within the context of what I told you. It's got to be like the gym. I have to be able to actually get to this and do it. That's hard with the life that I'm living at this stage of life. So anyway.
Quick break.
All right.
1 second.
I
have something to show you.
Oh, what do you got? All right. Derek's gonna be right back.
Game changer.
He's got a game. I don't even know what that means. You're not getting more bourbon. Please don't. Hey guys, the phone lines are open. FYI, I would like to test this out real quick. So if you have anything you think you want to add to the show, even if it's just for 60 seconds, the phone line is on the screen. It's 262-757-4122. I'd really welcome a call just to make sure that our tech staff is functioning properly. Oh, you got some stuff, bro. What's going on here?
This is the 2025 game.
You got to put that back on so we can hear you.
Check this out, bro. This is what I just bought on Facebook Marketplace. This is the jacket.
Throw your headset on over that.
Yeah, sorry.
And tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, okay. What's going on here?
I think you told me about this. I don't remember the context.
I did, yeah. I might have sent you some photos because I was really excited about it. And then I got it. And I was actually even more excited about it. But this is a Facebook Marketplace. It's almost a ghillie, but it's like a leafy. And it's just mesh. And it's super light colored, which is what I want. And I got the pants. I got the jacket. I got the head net.
You are really specific about your camouflage. You always have been.
Yes, and this is for ground setups, potentially for tree stands also, if I'm getting just above a bush. But this is going to bring me a ton of confidence for setting up on the ground. Because whenever I set up on the ground, I just feel like I stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like, wow,
You're very
every
outlined.
deer that walks by is just going to look right at me and just be like, that's dumb and run away. So I needed something to help my confidence because I'm such a visual person. And I'm like, well, if I can see that, like any deer we're over 2 years old is going to freaking see that. So I bought this in the hopes that this season I can do a lot more just scouting.
Yeah.
And then weighs nothing. It's mesh. So like I'll put that in my pack. And then when I like get to a spot
this is great.
That looks good or like I'm interested in where I just want to slow down and like still hunt. I want to do more still hunting with my bow and like sit for 45 minutes. You and I talked about, you mentioned it earlier, like the research from the thermal drone guy.
Yes.
Of like how much deer actually move around in their bedding areas. And I think he documented on one of the videos. Sorry, I know you can't take me seriously.
No, I can. This is fantastic. I'm actually taking you more seriously now.
Can you see me or is there just a headset?
It's just a headset.
Never mind. But I think he documented a couple times of where like no mature buck bedded for longer than 60 minutes in one spot without getting up. So like my idea is I've scouted these public areas so well that like there's so many bedding spots that I know
you almost
about,
wait for one to come home.
But I feel like sitting in a stand waiting for that one that he might not be in is so much less effective than if I just like still hunt through and sit for 30 minutes, move a little, sit for 30 minutes. That like just hoping for one to get up or to get a glimpse. Like I just feel like this is going to give me the confidence where I can like feel like I'm blending in without being a sore thumb.
And confidence, going back to what Jeremy had said on dropping pins, it has a lot to do with your ability to stick with a hunt.
Yeah.
Now, what was the other point I was going to make about that? I had a very pointed question about exactly what you're talking about.
Was it about camouflage? Because you talked about that before.
No, yeah, we can talk about that too, and we can wrap it up soon too. But this idea of still hunting, and if you have camouflage, great, and bucks are bedding in multiple. I thought when I heard Dan Infalt talk about bedding, like it was a buck is in a bed, and that's where that buck is, and that could be true sometimes.
That's super true for Dan Infalt. Because where he cut his teeth, if you listen to all of his, he was hunting cattail swamps where there's like one or two trees out in the middle, and that's where the humps were, and that's where they bedded. So it makes sense, 100%. That it's there. The stuff we walked in this weekend,
there's several.
There's a lot of spots that they potentially could be, and they use
all of them at different times for different reasons.
100%.
Whatever those could be.
So if I can access 3 of those in one night, that's way better than just hoping for
scent
one.
is a big one, and then wind. And so if a buck does hear you and doesn't smell you, they might, what I've heard, and I've witnessed on some shows, and I've seen this a little bit. I had this happen to me with my cousin Jeremy. The buck then tried to get downwind of us. He tried to
circle.
J-hook,
Yep.
I think is what it's called, which is like a plumbing term for me. Back in my radon days, which is like plumbing, but plumbing light. Okay, it's not real plumbing. I was running all the stuff, just none of the water going through it. So they J-hook to get scent confirmation. But knowing they're going to do that, you can continue to maneuver them and
if
yourself.
they think you're a deer,
you can
move.
continue to maneuver that without them being totally alarmed. That is an active chess game.
Which is more efficient because...
Which is not easy to fucking play.
Well, just let's... And I'm sorry if we got to wrap it up quick. But like,
Okay.
let's dive into the tactics. Let's drop some pins here. So we just... the tree we hung your camera on that we talked about potentially hunting.
Yep.
There's beds very close by.
Yes.
Ideally, what would we need to get those bucks to come to that white oak tree? Daylight.
Don't ask me about wind direction because I'm going to get the.
No, I know
what direction it needs to blow. I just don't know what to call that direction.
Which direction would you want it to blow to get them to come?
I want it blowing towards the south or the south.
Out of the
west.
south.
Well,
toward them. You need the wind blowing almost
yes,
perfectly bad.
So
to get them there in daylight.
I got to share this image on the screen for everybody and you too. Hold on. Diagram. Here we go. This is it. How do I just make this big? Well, that's a weird question to ask out loud. Hold on. Share this screen. So I talked about this before on the show. I learned how to sail a sailboat a long time ago. Doesn't hold up anymore. I don't remember how to do it anymore. But I learned about tacking and jabbing with wind. But there's something called points of sail, and in order to when your sail's pointing directly into the wind, it's called luffing. So it's in the wind, so it's luffing. That's like the safe place. That's like your neutral in a car. You have to be luffing so the wind never fills it, so you don't like accidentally run into something, which in a harbor is very nerve-wracking, which is where I learned how to sail. So you had to maneuver out of the harbor. So you have your points of sail. So you have your no sail zone. That's luffing.
This is the luffing zone.
Yep. So that's where like your nose is right into the wind to a degree. But then you have you think about like, you think in your brain you'd always have to just have the wind completely to your back. But that doesn't make sense because then how the hell would a boat ever move?
Yeah.
You can't only just move that direction. So there's close hauled, close reach, beam reach. I feel like to be by the deer's bed, you have to be a close hauled wind. Ideally. You got to be right there.
Ideally.
And I wish someone would make this diagram, but for deer and figure out the naming conventions.
Okay.
So this is what I want someone.
This is beautiful.
Someone in the audience fucking make this.
So this is beautiful because, scroll back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's say in our example, right, where the wind is coming from, it's coming out of the north to the south here.
Mm-hmm.
In our situation, with the bucks bedded to the north,
yep,
the hunting spot to the south, it's not affording the deer any advantage to move that. I mean, it's close.
Yep.
So there's a very good chance it could work.
Yep.
A west wind would be a little bit better.
They need to fill their nose, the sail, with some wind to get some idea.
But that close reach, like a south-southwest or a west-southwest would be really good because they can hook in and feel like they got it all. That's ideal. What's great about moving and still hunting on the ground is I can come in from absolutely my ideal wind because I'm moving and I can position myself differently and come in and check these spots. Now, seeing early season is really hard because everything's so tall.
But also it affords you a lot of visual cover.
Visual cover is huge and potentially, I mean, like you don't need this to do it. Yeah. It just gives me, because I'm such a visual person that I feel like an idiot if I don't have some sort of cover that matches.
Well, and speaking about your camouflage stuff, and then we'll wrap it up, like you have snow camo, not for snow hunting, but also for that, but mostly so you're like, you look like Sky. And you're really keen on that versus someone like me. I'm wearing a flannel. I've worn the same flannel hunting all the time and killed deer of it. Like,
which can work.
But it can work, of course. And I love that. We have opposing thoughts on this to a degree. And I'm not actually, I actually want to do more of what you do, but I just don't have it. So I'm not doing it.
But here's
both
the
can work.
Eric, your goal is slightly different than my goal.
Yes, correct.
So like, let's take the example of where I had that really big one come by me 2 years ago.
Yep.
He came in. That deer I heard, I got in position.
Yep.
I waited 25 minutes. I heard nothing. Then as soon as I got back, 25 minutes, the deer made his move. If you've watched any like hunting media, hunting videos.
The one with Seek one where that deer sat there. How long was he sitting there waiting for that deer to move?
They will wait forever because that's how they live.
They just live that way.
So if I ever got in a position where I was in a dead ash or a lone tree and there was a big buck, I don't want him to ever go, that might be something.
Yeah.
So like whatever visual thing I can do to manipulate that, that's what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. It's not for every other deer. Most deer won't look at you. But if that deer, that old deer, the mature deer is going to stand there for 15 minutes, I just want to be freaking
the mature deer stood there for about 4 seconds and saw me, so you're right.
But like that's the goal, right? Is like not to. I don't need to fool. I'm just really want to try to limit like whatever odds you can put in your favor. Why would you not put those odds?
Yeah. Like when you're playing at the level you're playing at the game you're playing. To say I'm
hunting in solids is not worth it for me. It's like that does nothing.
Yeah, you're not flexing.
I want to try to kill a deer.
Yeah, that is great and worth talking about. Dude, someone needs to call into the show, guys. I need one call to happen this episode to validate the tech stack is working. For the love of Pete, the phone number is on the screen. I normally am not this bullish on it. I just want to know it's working.
RP Scriptfield loves the concept, so let's see it in action.
Open phone line, live chat, awesome concept. Let's get a caller.
Let's dig it.
Let's go. Who's calling in? Who's calling in? Phone number's on the screen, 262-757-4122. You will be on our podcast. You can ask us a question or something. just,
or tell us something.
Don't prank call us or anything weird. Fish and Tips said what did he say here? I would take a picture and draw where it was standing and where it ran. Super smart idea.
Yes.
That's a really good idea. And with technology, that's easy to do. You can screenshot something and draw on it and shit.
Sometimes you can drop a pin on whatever mapping app and just where you think you heard the last sound.
Dude, the tree line blocked everything for me.
Yeah.
And you can see it on the video when this happens and whatever, and you can pick it apart later too. Everybody's going to pick it apart, I'm sure. Like I got a lot of DMs on the last 2 seasons ago about stuff like that. Whatever. Man, I did what you said, though. I listened and I watched and it was crashing and loud and then it just was nothing. And I was like, he must have went down. That's what the crashing was. What did he blow through? Everything got distorted because it got dark and I lost my frame of reference and everything fell to shit and I had no blood. It all makes sense in hindsight, but that intel... It's so weird how it all can happen so fast like that.
I'm gonna give you a personal,
sorry, I'm just perseverating. I'm gonna give
you a personal tip. As a friend,
yes,
you don't do well in the dark.
I do not do well in the dark. Something has happened to my brain
that clouds your judgment.
Yeah,
because like as the dark creeps in, you get your anxiety about it, and like which anyone would happen. Like you want to see, you want to know, like you just. Do what you did, and then get out.
Yeah.
And then come in with people with lights, or with lots of lights, or with lots of people,
or
wait till the next day.
Yeah.
But darkness is not your friend. I could tell that night when we did the drone, when I was like, hey, we should go check that deer. You were pretty adamant that, like, I don't want to go in there in the dark. Which I totally understand. That's not your thing.
Yep.
And it wouldn't have done anything. Like, obviously, that was it was not your deer. Right?
Yeah, we could have found something out.
I learned a lot right there that like so maybe you don't track at night.
Yeah.
Maybe you wait till the next day. In that area, there's probably not a ton of coyotes.
Which is wild because when I shot the deer that I did kill, all those same feelings came back. It was dark.
Yeah.
Blood trail was...
And it starts heightening.
Blood trail was not good.
And you were worried. And
I'm like...
I'm sure it just kept building.
Oh my God, it's happening again. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Am I that hunter that can't get this done? What the fuck is happening?
That happens to everyone.
I was panicking. And like I said, just by chance, I found him. Like, and it all washed away. But it washed away and there's a 20 to 30 yard gap of no blood. No blood. Saw the deer as at the last known drop. Speck. I don't know how the hell the deer went from here to there without fucking leaving a trace. Like, it didn't make sense as to how he got there. I probably could have like found some tracks or something. But whatever way he took, I did not see blood, and I found him, and I was trying to figure it out, like working reverse engineering that. And I was like, there's nothing.
Dude, that rule of like
weird,
letting
man.
a deer go for like an hour, I don't think it's just for the animal. I think that rule is for the hunter because
calming your nerves.
You're so elevated, your adrenaline, like it clouds
your perception
what you see.
is wrong.
It clouds everything.
Yeah.
So I think that rule is really for like to get you out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like remove the human element.
Yeah.
Not you, but like
this one we waited.
Right?
I went and got breakfast.
Yeah. And then when you go back, you're like, okay, I can think logically. Let's start at the beginning and like, what did I see? That's really, really important going into season. I just like think people need to hear like, don't pursue unless that deer you saw white belly on the ground.
Unless he dies on your tree stand.
Even if you know it's a great shot, you freaking heart punched him, double lung, whatever. Like your judgment will be better. Your tracking will be better. Just give it a little time.
That's good. You're speaking to a wide spectrum of hunters here in terms of skill set. If you think it was a good shot, now I don't have enough confidence sometimes to know whether it was a good shot. That was a beautiful shot. I didn't know. Sorry, this was a beautiful shot. And I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Because it came out at an angle that hit gut on the way out. But it was still a double lung shot. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I saw a gut and I was like, oh no, this is gut. And I didn't have enough processing power in the moment.
We talked and like it was a whole like, oh, give him time. So you went and got breakfast.
Yep.
Which in the end
worked out fine.
Was fine because he was still dead. You had daylight to play with. That's what's beautiful about the morning.
Oh yeah, true. Good point.
It's beautiful about the morning.
Yeah.
As soon as you're shooting at night, it's tough because in areas with lots of coyotes, right? Like that's the thing. Like that's
you're right.
The pressure you put on yourself is like, I don't want this deer to go.
Which happens, dude.
And it does.
And that's a different mortifying feeling. you lose all your meat, and like it's not a good sight.
You feel
like,
horrible.
It's just not what you want to have happen. Man, no callers. For the love of Pete, can you? Who can we text? I can't text because I'm on a call. I think. Who can call in now? 262-757-4122, and then we can bring this plane in for a landing here.
What's the number?
262-757-4122. Watch, we're getting like 8 callers in the queue all of a sudden, but I'll just pick one. I'm going to text my wife. She's going to be like, oh my God, no, into the podcast. Please to help test. Oh, here we go. We do have a caller. Okay, thank you. Someone did it. So maybe someone you texted.
Was it?
They're getting screened right now. They're from Dodgeville.
Dodgeville.
You know someone from Dodgeville?
Dodgeville's where we went turkey hunting.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a terrible place to turkey hunt. A lot of fun. Not a good place to turkey hunt. It's Tony. His name's Tony.
Tony Cordero.
Oh, is that who it is?
Gotta be.
Hold on, let me turn the volume up on
It's
this.
gotta be Tony C.
Tony, you're live on the podcast.
Mic check.
There it is.
Hey, there
Check
he
1,
is.
2, checking for Mike.
We've
Is
got
that
you.
is that the guy? You there?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, there it is. All right. So you can hear us. We can hear you. Now the real question is, we need someone to comment. Can you hear Tony?
Fishing tips. Are you hearing Tony?
Anybody
Tony, tell us a
listening
quick
live?
story, just like a 5
Can
minute,
you hear Tony?
10-minute, 20-minute story.
I think it's delayed. Maybe. Tony, are you still there?
Yes.
Can you tell us a short story?
I don't think I can hear myself on the podcast.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're not hearing
Now he
yourself.
can't hear him. Dude, we cannot put it so that someone can hear someone.
But the
else.
commenters are saying they can hear him.
But he can't hear him
Well, you don't need to hear yourself. You just need to hear us.
on the call.
Yeah. Like when you call into a radio show, you don't got to hear yourself. Don't
Thank you,
don't worry about
Jess.
that.
Thank
Hear
you,
you.
Jess.
Yeah, good.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working. We can hear you. Our callers, our live streamers.
There's more
hear
interaction
you.
now with your voice than anyone else.
They were there the whole time. Everyone's just creeping.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad you got it fixed.
Hey, I appreciate you
all right.
calling.
Now I
Tony.
got to figure it out. Thank you, Tony, very much. I'll let you get.
Man, new studio looks great.
Hey, it's okay. You know, it needs some love. We got to do some stuff to it, but it'll get there.
Couple more bucks, maybe. I heard.
There's nowhere to put them. We got to go in the other room if we do that.
That's the trophy room.
Actually, we talked about. I had a carpenter here. We talked about if we were to redo this, we would put the podcast in here on this other side for a while, and then do this. So there's no like, we got to get it done. Do. We could do it nice, and then move it back over.
Oh,
The reason I like this room is because of the windows.
Yeah.
Because if people are coming here to guest on it, and there's like friends with and stuff, they can kind of like see what's happening.
casually throw empty beer bottles.
Versus
in the
that room,
windows.
it's kind of like off into the, no one knows what's going on back there. It's kind of creepy. But all right, Tony, thank you for validating that the tech stack is functional, although you can't hear yourself. So I'm not sure what that means. But
Also, shout out to Jess and Tyler and the girls for the lemonade stand that I just read on Facebook.
it's wild.
Did like
Dude, $4,000.
insane numbers to donate for the
Yeah.
hearing aids for kids. Like, that's so cool. I'm
was
so
cool. We went
glad you
to it. It
guys
was
do
good.
that. And your girls at Foam Fest were amazing. And
Very special.
it's just so cool.
We're rocking with some really good people across the board. Like Tyler and his family are amazing. I've been so fortunate to have met him to do all this with us, and you through Greg and Greg himself. Like, and what's wild is I've met all of you because of the podcast. Like, not just because of it, like through it.
Yeah.
Which is weird that this is the
weird
world
to
we
think
live in. Like, yeah. And my daughter Logan is obsessing still about that lemonade. We went to Culver the other night and she's like, this lemonade's not as good as the Mead's lemonade. And she's
That's
right. It's not. So I think we have to buy whatever you guys had to do lemonade here forth,
Dude,
because
they got it
nothing
locked-
else is good enough.
They got it locked down. They're not going to share the recipe. And I don't blame them.
I think it's just the powder. Like
What kind of powder?
It's just like the whatever
Gets
the main
people
one.
going.
It gets the people going. What is that basketball movie? No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. All right, guys, gals, have a good night, a good week, good day, wherever you're listening to this. Thank you so much. Hey, and if you wouldn't mind, I haven't shared this with anybody because I don't care ever, but we've for like the last 10 years have had a duplicate RSS feed on Apple Podcasts. Big shout out to Cody McLaughlin with Trout Stream Studios, I think it is. And Cody, I'm sorry if I got that wrong because I don't have stuff in front of me to correct me at the moment. I'm not going to go look it up. But we now only have one Apple Podcast RSS feed, which is a big deal because it was splitting our audience in half, which was giving us half credit for all listens. That being said, what I'm asking for is we had to deprecate the feed that had 150 reviews to make it be the correct one. So now the one that's left standing is the correct one, but it only has like a handful of reviews. So I've never really gone out and asked for this kind of stuff. I don't care because I feel like it's not authentic, and it's authentic if people just go and leave one. But now we're at this weird point where it'd actually be a bit helpful if you are listening on Apple Podcasts to take a second to at least give a rating, which doesn't require any, this thumb texting BS. But if you wanted to leave something,
alphabet,
it would mean a lot. It really would, because it would help just our mission, what we're doing, all that stuff. So if you would feel so obliged to do so, if that's the right word to use, thank you. And if not, fine. It's no big deal. We're going to do this no matter what. And just hopefully y'all enjoy it. So thanks for tuning in this week.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir. See ya.